What did he tell you about the situation when he got to the place where he was going to dump her body?
He said that he pulled her out of the car and realized that she was still breathing.
So what did he tell you he did when he realized she's still breathing?
He said he got back in the car and ran her over until she looked like spaghetti.
On June 12, 2024, Wade Wilson, age 30, was convicted of killing 2 women back in October 2019, both just hours within each other. Kristine Melton was strangled to death in her sleep after meeting Wade in a nightclub, and Diane Ruiz was strangled later that morning. After noticing she wasn't dead yet, he ran her over multiple times until, as Wade's dad put it during his testimony, her body looked like spaghetti. While jurors recommended Wade should be executed for his crimes, he just sat there with a stone-cold, emotionless face.
We, the jury, find by a vote of 9-3 that Wade Wilson should be sentenced to death.
Wade was born on May 20th, 1994 in Florida, USA. His birth parents were only 16 and 15 years of age. His biological mother struggled with mental health issues as well as addiction problems. Wade was adopted shortly after birth to a family that went to church with his mother. He was given his adoptive parents' last name, making his full name Wade Wilson. His adoptive parents claimed that as a child, Wade was a well-mannered, active member of the family. But by the age of 13, his demeanor changed. He became paranoid, more reclusive, and a frequent drug abuser. He was subject to the Baker's Act, a Florida law that enables families to provide emergency mental health services and temporary detention for people who are impaired because of their mental illness, after his adoptive dad found drugs that Wade had stashed. He was released the next day. Throughout school, he had mixed grades and was apparently great at sports. He sustained multiple head injuries from playing sports, some of these resulting in a concussion. Before having the opportunity to graduate high school, Wade was suspended from school for selling drugs. At age 18, and again at age 20, he sustained more head injuries from car accidents, where the car he was in collided with a tree. At least one of these led to a concussion. He was in and out of prison as a young adult. Starting 2010, he was charged for 20 various different crimes, including assault and fraud. Wade's biological father stated that by the age of 18, Wade reached out to him to bond and connect. Speaking over the phone, Wade would constantly call when he needed something, usually money.
Okay, now did he often ask you for money?
Yes, ma'am.
Did your relationship turn into a situation where he was just asking for your help?
Yes, ma'am.
On Sunday night, October 6, 2019, Wade was out with his girlfriend Melissa Montanez and a friend named Jason at a night bar/restaurant named the Buddha Bar. At some point, Wade and Melissa got into an argument. Wade snatches her car keys and she leaves in a fit. Wade and Jason begin to talk to 2 other girls at the bar, Stephanie and Kristine Melton. They started hitting it off and made their way to Jason's place. A couple of hours later, Jason wants to call it a night, but Wade and Kristine hop in an Uber and make it to Kristine's place to spend the rest of the night. Almost immediately after being alone in her place, Wade places his hands around her throat and strangles her to death. He then wraps her body up, thinking he could put her away in her own trunk, but winds up leaving her there and stealing her car instead. By 9 a.m., Wade has been constantly calling Melissa. He wants to meet up with her, but she's still angry he took her car keys. Finally, she gives in and tells him to meet her at her job nearby in Fort Myers. Wade pulls up in Kristine's car, shirtless and with blood everywhere. Upon arrival, he begins brutally attacking her and tried to get her in the car before a small crowd begins to form. As Wade notices the group spectating, he drives off, fleeing the scene. Melissa Montanez would have potentially been his next murder victim. Driving through Cape Coral, Wade's rage hasn't subsided, and he picks up a woman he just asked for directions from. Diane Ruiz, a bartender at a local lodge, was heading to work that morning. Thinking she was getting a ride after doing a favor, she gets in the car. Almost instantly, Wade begins choking her with one hand, while the other hand is on the steering wheel. He finally pushes her out of the car, but notices she's still alive. So Wade does the unthinkable and runs her over and over and over again, until in his own words, her body looked like spaghetti. Truly atrocious. It is now 11:30 a.m. and Wade has to dispose of the body. He brings her to an empty lot behind Sam's Club, covering her body with debris. Her body was discovered 3 days later, after some vultures were spotted picking away at her carcass. At around 3 p.m., the police spots him in a vehicle they were looking for. They've been searching for him since he assaulted Melissa. At this point, police have no idea he just murdered 2 women.
Is the car running? Shut the car off for me. It's off? I'm going to detain you until I figure out what exactly is going on.
I'm just waiting on my girlfriend. I told you, I don't want to be harassed.
Wait, you don't want any trouble from me because you're on probation, okay? Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm going to have you step out of the car and I'm going to detain you.
After the officer asks him to step out of the car, Wade peels out, escaping the officer.
Don't go anywhere. Hey.
Alpha 8, be en route, we're in there.
He heads back to Cape Coral to ask a friend for money. Bus ticket, plane ticket, anything to get out of town. After he leaves empty-handed, the friend dials 911, informing police of his recent visit. Upon arrival, the police spot the car Wade left behind. They discover Diane's blood in Kristine's car. Running a check on the license plates, this eventually leads them to Kristine's lifeless body in her own home. Meanwhile, looking for a place to hide, Wade breaks into a home in the area, smashing the back window to break into the house. Luckily, the occupants were out of town, or Wade might have murdered them as well. After raiding the fridge for some beer and food, Wade called his biological father, Stephen, for some money and a ride.
I need help. I've done something I can't take back. You know, there's 2 people that aren't with us anymore.
During this phone call, Wade details the events that happened that day, describing his horrific crimes, every bloody detail.
I want to go back to that dinner time call. When he talked about these 2 people who were no longer with us and that he was a killer, did he show any type of remorse?
No, ma'am.
His father ends his reign of evil by calling the police and giving them his son's location. His trial has been delayed plenty of times due to switching multiple lawyers, quarantine slowing things down, and also there was an escape attempt from Lee County Jail.
Wade Wilson,
Wade,
Joseph
along
Katz,
with his cellmate at the time,
right here,
broke a window in their
cell.
This delayed his murder trial further while he went to trial for the escape attempt. While locked up, this is when Wade began getting his face tattooed. It started with the swastika on his face and head, and evolved into what looks like half a skull on his face and stitches around his mouth. It was said that he had ties to a white supremacy prison-based gang, Unforgiven. His prison medical records show that he has been diagnosed with depression, anxiety, schizoaffective disorder, defiance disorder, and antisocial personality disorder. He's self-reported to having mania and ADD. 2 expert witnesses conducted tests on Wade, reviewed both medical records, CT scans, and school records. One of the doctors concluded that Wade likely has significant frontal lobe impairment, affecting executive functioning, such as impulse control, emotional regulation, and motor skills, and concluded there was impairment to the right side of the brain as well. This could have likely resulted from all the head injuries and concussions he suffered from throughout his life.
What, baby?
Please, insanity. Please.
I am. No, baby, I'm going to, baby. That's what I'm doing. Baby, I'm going to. Baby, there might still be a chance for me. I'm not done yet. I'm not done just yet, baby. Listen, I have people like contacting me on that machine, trying to like message me and stuff on there.
You're Ted Bundy right now.
Apparently so. You know, there's going to be 2 things that happen. 1, they're going to find me not guilty by reason of insanity. Okay? Or 2, they're going to kill me.
The prosecution contested and said that the CT scans did not show fracture or injury. They contended that he was not receiving any antipsychotic medications. Their view was that a mental health condition, psychosis, or brain injury cannot be used as a mitigant, and that his excessive and prolonged drug use can't be ruled out as a responsible or contributing factor to his behaviors or symptoms exhibited. This throws his insanity plea out of the window. During a video interview, he claims to be framed for the murders by an organized crime ring he was a part of.
Did you kill Kristine Melton and Diane Ruiz?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
No surprise there.
He said this ring was responsible for human trafficking and drug trafficking. Authorities for the county said there was no evidence of any such organized crime ring. While in jail, Wade rats on another inmate who tried to hire Wade to orchestrate a murder hit on this inmate's ex.
He just thought that I was the person to ask for that.
Wade reported this to jail authorities, claiming that he had saved a life and was expecting that the court take it easier on his sentence.
People would accept $10,000, $200,000, surely. But I'm not that type of person.
On June 17, 2024, Wade Wilson is convicted of double murder, as well as a plethora of other charges. 13 days later, it only took the jury about an hour to recommend the death penalty.
We, the jury, find by a vote of 9-3 that Wade Wilson should be sentenced to death.
Wade Wilson is one of those stories in which the more you research, the more disgusted or intrigued you may get. Some would say he was a handsome man before jail. Others think the tattoos make him look more attractive. To me, he looks absolutely insane with those tattoos. But the ladies, and some men, seem to love him. GoFundMe donations has been started for him. Countless women on TikTok gushing over him. Even petitions with over 9,000 signatures to save Wade. He became a celebrity while in jail, and if you ask me, I believe that is exactly where he belongs. This is Howtodeal. Hope you true crime junkies got your hit of this. Subscribe to the page and enjoy some of our other videos, also detailing true crimes from the past and the present. Thanks again, and take care.